Hello, happy Tuesday. Let me make sure everything's working properly. Come in, come in. Say hi. I really love it when Facebook and YouTube choose the least flattering photos for thumbnails. Thanks, guys. There we go. Oh, hello, happy Tuesday. There's the lag. Awesome. Okay. Now I can see your comments. I can see if I'm doing something weird with my face. How's it going today? I have had a rough few weeks, quite frankly, not because anything catastrophic has happened. Business is good, thank goodness, because I just got back to the point where I'm like fully booking people, which is good because I was still in that kind of rescheduling phase of getting everyone back in. Then I had to reschedule. Hey, Cindy, it's so good to see you. How are you today? Say hi in chat. I can see people coming in, but I don't know who you are. I wish I could see like who was watching so I could actually say hi to you. So say hi in the chat and just say hey. Cindy said, "Oh, I saw your photos. Are you okay?" Yeah, so I had to have a vacuum biopsy on my left boob, which is the party boob. It's the bigger one. It's the one that misbehaves the most. So I had to have a vacuum biopsy on it. It is extremely colorful, which is why I can't wear anything that's too low cut because y'all will see my galaxy boob is what someone called it, and I think that's the best name for it ever. So come on in, say hi in the chat. If you're watching this on YouTube, the discussion, the conversation happens in the Facebook group. So head on over to businessstraightedup.com/community to join us and chat about business because business bitches, let's get this going. Cindy said, do you need a care package? Oh, you're so sweet. You know, I have to tell you, this whole experience was a real eye opener as to who is there for you and who isn't. And it's so funny. People were sending me messages thinking I was talking about them. I promise you, the person that I'm talking about is not sending me messages, obviously. So it was not to call anyone in particular out. This person knows who they are. And it was just kind of an eye opener. But I think that so many things in our lives happen for that reason, especially in health and in business, the things that really take so much of our time and effort can be real wake up calls, so to speak. So, Cindy, you are so sweet for the care package. I am starting to feel better. It is not 100%. It still hurts, which I'm kind of annoyed about because I'm like, shouldn't I feel better by now? But it's all right. We'll make it through all of this. I want to know, first of all, if you have any questions for me, because I can see y'all watching. I just don't know who. But let me know if you have any questions for me, if there's something that I can help you with. There's something you want me to look at, if you have a brand new page on your website that you just put up that you want another set of eyes on, or maybe a marketing piece, things like that. I am going to show you a few things that I am working on for 2022 because I can't believe we're already talking about it, but here we are. Cindy said, I have lead gen questions. Yes, please, by all means, ask away. I am so happy to help. Lead generation is something that should be on autopilot for the most part. A lot of people ask me, when someone asked in a mom's group for a boudoir photographer, why are you still responding? Aren't you successful? Like, hell yeah, I'm successful. And you know what? That person that's asking about the boudoir session may not hire me and may not even care, but there might be someone else watching. All of these things, and leading people to my website and getting them to sign up for my email list so that I can add them or add value to their lives and continue to impact these amazing women who come into my studio. I have just kind of revamped several parts of my studio. I have new sets up. And so I definitely want to have people in. even if I have to book them 6 months or a year out, because the reality is that sometimes it takes time. Sometimes it takes time for people to book, especially if I have any boudoir photographers watching. It's really scary sometimes to take off your clothes in front of someone new, especially when they have a camera. So give people time. Make sure that you are consistently talking to them and learning more about them so that you can speak directly to them, so that when the time comes, you are the person that is on the top of their brain when it comes to whatever it is that you do. So in my case, boudoir photography. Cindy said, I would love to learn Facebook ads. Me too, girl. So I have spent probably a good $5,000 to $10,000 to learn Facebook ads. There is something in my brain that just does not grasp Facebook ads. And it's very frustrating to me because I understand how it works. Everyone's trying to teach me, and I just need to know the specifics of what ad to choose for which type. I know how to write the copy. I know how to turn them on. I know how to do the monetization. Like, I get the specifics, but I think I just need to sit down with someone and have them kind of mentor me for an hour and walk me through it, because there is still something missing for me when it comes to Facebook ads. Now, I do know that they are incredibly powerful. And I think that that's part of why my brain isn't really on board with Facebook ads, because I find it a little creepy. And I need to kind of get past that, because it is specific targeting. And these are women and photographers and people that I could impact, that I could positively help for sure. So I need to get past that. But part of me is kind of like, you know how everyone is so worried about the microchip and the vaccine? Like, y'all, your smartphones are doing that for them already. They don't need a microchip. Okay. Our phones follow us constantly, and we allow it and we put it in our pocket. So it's so funny to me that people are so concerned about stuff like that. And yet y'all have a smartphone, don't you? So Facebook ads, I do not know them. I cannot teach you that. I'm so sorry. I wish that I could. You know that when I know something, that I'm an open book and I will share everything I know with you. But when I don't know something, I will tell you that too, because I want to be completely transparent with you guys. Integrity is important to me. It is something that I'm forever working on, but I am not super familiar with Facebook ads. I can tell you the people that I've learned a lot from. First, Easton Reynolds I need to get him on here. Let me see if I can remember the name of the book, or the name of the course. It really drives me crazy when people don't put their names in their Facebook group names. I think it's The Art of Six Figures. Something like that. Anyway, his name is Easton Reynolds. Yeah, The Art of Six Figures. So he has a Facebook ads course that is kind of more basic, like starting from the beginning, which is good. And I will say one thing about Easton is that he is extremely open to answering questions. I was thinking about this morning because there are a lot of people that sell courses now, right? There's a lot of photographers that sell courses. And if you buy one of their courses, awesome. I'll tell you exactly what I think of some of them if you have questions. But if you don't have access to this person to ask questions or their team, now obviously with boundaries in place, right? Because we can't expect someone to be on for us 24/7. We can't expect that of ourselves for our own clients. But if you don't have access to this person, then that would be a huge red flag for me in buying a course. And I will say that Easton is extremely accessible, meaning he is there to answer questions. He has always been very, very helpful. And so he has a Facebook ads course that is kind of a more beginner course. It's good. I did learn a lot from it, but like I said, my brain is still like creepy. I don't know about this, which I have to get past. That's my own work to get past, right? Another is, I believe, Andrew Hubbard. Let me find it. So I've shown you guys before all of the courses and classes that I purchase. Y'all, I have spent thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on courses. There is no shame in that. Can I just say that first? So many people are like, I buy courses and then I don't do anything with them. And I don't think that that's necessarily the case. I think that you buy them and you learn what you can from them, and you don't have to do the whole thing. Like I have to tell myself this too, but you can learn what you need from a course without having to do the entire thing. You don't necessarily have to do every single part of it. You can learn what you need. And it's so funny, so many of my like email marketing students just want to learn like how to set up their list and how to start getting leads. And so they don't go through the rest of the stuff in the course, and that's totally fine. But I will tell you, if you ask me a question that's in there, I'm going to point you there because the information is there. But you don't have to do everything. It's totally fine. This is your permission slip. Buy the course that you want or need and learn what you need and let the rest go. Because you're investing in your brain, you're investing in your knowledge, which in turn will grow your business. So that is my little soapbox on that. Facebook ads, sprouting photographer. I guess I have a Facebook ads course there. I don't know that I've ever done that one. I did Andrew Hubbard's. I had asked my husband to take over Facebook ads. Yeah, Andrew Hubbard is the Facebook ads one that I know of as well. And Andrew Hubbard's is more in depth. It is very, very deep. And that is why, for me, it was a little over the top. But if that's what you want, then that would be a good fit, right? We all learn differently too. That's what's so funny is people want recommendations for courses and stuff, but what works for me may not work for you. Sometimes I just want to get in and learn one thing and get out. And some people want all of the background information, and that's okay too. Tammy Cannon, Cannon, she had a Facebook ads masterclass. It's not very long. Now, hers was my favorite because it gave me ways to systematize things. So you all know I'm a big fan of doing something once and using it over and over again. So that's why I have like my email templates and stuff like that. So what hers taught me was how to systematize targeting and who I'm targeting and all of those things so that I don't have to think about it every single time. So that was something I didn't necessarily learn in the other courses. So those are some of the Facebook ads courses and things that I have learned on. I would love to, I can see y'all watching. I would love to know more in the comments of what you have learned and what has worked for you. Cindy, do you have a specific question that I can answer for you? I'm so sorry, Facebook ads is not my expertise, but I do know a little bit about it. I just don't feel really comfortable teaching it. So I'm happy to answer whatever I have. I'm just looking on my master list of courses. There are 213 on this list. Some of them were close to $5,000 and some of them were $29. It just is very dependent on, some of them are not even offered anymore and they're just in this list so that I can search in my Dropbox to find them. But there is so much value in learning from people who know what they're doing. So Cindy, I would love to know if you have a question that I can answer for you. I will tell you this. You need to have an end goal with any type of advertising. Okay, so if you're going to use Facebook ads, you need to make sure that you have an end goal. What do you want people to do? And I know that we all say, well, I want them to book me, right? I want them to book a session or book whatever it is that you do, but it has to be even more specific. Do you want them on your email list? Do you want them to book a call with you? You need to be super, super specific because if you don't know the end goal, you won't be able to measure it and see whether it's working or not. Cindy said, I've recently learned about getting pre-qualified leads through a simple quiz or questionnaire. Some people use Jotform, some people use Typeform, and of course, many use landing pages. Okay. There are quiz softwares. I don't know if that's a word. There is quiz software that you can use to actually create a quiz. Jenna Kutcher has something on that. Let me see if I can find it, because hers is her secret sauce quiz. Bank on Your Genius quiz. Yeah, how to grow your email list with an online quiz. So I'm gonna put this in the comments because she specifically taught that and has talked about how to start adding leads with an online quiz. Now, she uses a very specific software. As far as people using Typeform and Jotform and stuff like that, what did we use? I don't remember. I actually prefer Google for that. It's just forms.google.com, and it's just part of Google Docs. Excuse me. But then it puts everything into a spreadsheet, which makes it super easy for integration into like email lists, stuff like that. Now, I know that others do that as well. I just keep everything on Google because it makes life easier. Cindy said, my main question is, what kind of questions should I be asking to keep it simple but enticing enough where they'll want to fill it out? Again, I think you have to consider your end goal here. So are you creating a quiz that's supposed to be fun? Are you creating a quiz that's boudoir specific? Are you creating a quiz that will lead them to contact you? Or do you want to just put them onto a list so that you can then nurture that lead so that they know, hey, this is someone I want to pay attention to? It really depends on your end goal. Now, I have thrown around the idea of making quizzes in the past. I haven't ever done it, just because my lead gen's pretty strong because of SEO. But you really need to consider what that is. So I will say most of the quizzes tend to be that I see that are shared all the time, that are really popular, are the ones that are kind of dorky and fun. And I know that seems silly because do you really want to tie your brand to that? But if you can think of ways that you can entertain someone, those tend to be the quizzes that I see that work out the best. So ideas for quizzes. Drawing a blank here. Think of the things that you see shared all the time. So which Sex and the City character are you? Which Schitt's Creek character are you? Which, if you were going to be a mermaid, what kind of mermaid would you be? Like all of these weird, seemingly dumb quizzes, all of those companies are collecting data, all of them. And that's kind of the point, right? Is to have an entertaining quiz that will collect the data so that you can then nurture that lead to contact you at a later date or book a session at a later date. So Cindy, I would be curious as to what type of quiz you want to create, because it sounds like when you're talking about forms and questionnaires that you might be asking questions to get to know someone more instead of entertainment. So let me know in the comments like what you're thinking and where you're going, because I can definitely like kind of talk it out with you. Again, quiz is not really my strength, but I can do lead gen all day long and I can entertain people. I'm an entertainer. So let me know in the comments. She said, yes, that's exactly it. Which one? I'm going to take a drink of coffee while you answer. Let me know which one. Coffee. I think that you need to come up with something that's on brand. So for instance, one of the boudoir photographers I know kind of uses a pixie forest queen kind of thing for her brand. It's very earthy toned and very like fairyish, like Tinkerbell kind of thing. Now, of course, you can't use Tinkerbell because Disney will come down hard, but she could say like, what type of pixie are you? Or what type of fairy queen are you? That absolutely does not work with my brand, but for her, it works really well. And that could be a quiz that she does. Cindy said, I would like to set up a Facebook ad, which leads them to an interactive quiz to get to know them a bit more and also get them engaged and invested, to lead them to booking a call, and they're sort of pre-qualified at that point. So you would have to consider something that works with your brand. Cindy, do you maybe, if you speak directly to moms, like what's your parenting style, although that doesn't really lend itself very well to boudoir, but what's your lingerie style? What is your sexy personality? What is your, you got to think of things like that will make people want to click on it, right? Because if it's boring and they're like, it's another personality test, maybe not. But if it's something fun, then they're more likely to click on it. But it also needs to be on brand. So I have another friend who's a boudoir photographer who uses the word goddess a lot in her branding. And so that could be another thing, like, what type of goddess are you? And then, like, no one has trademark on Greek goddesses that I know of. Be like, are you Aphrodite? Are you Athena? Are you, and you can think of questions like that. Now, don't make it long. I think a lot of people think that they have to make these things super, super long, and they do not. So I would say 8 to 10 questions is more than enough. You don't have to do a 10. How do you feel when people give you a compliment? Yeah, so maybe, okay, self-love related. Let me think about this. So where are you at on your self-love journey? Although that's not really clickable, but that's kind of where we want to go, right? How much do you love yourself? Something like that. And gosh, I'm trying to think of other self-love. You could even go down the rabbit hole of like comparing people to celebrities. Like, are you on Lizzo's scale of self-love where she gives 0 fucks about anyone else? Are you, but be careful, because if you use someone else's name, again, you could, it could fall under fair use, but talk to your attorney if you want to do that. I would say self-love. No worries. Cindy said, I hate to do this, but I got to go. I'm going to be back to catch up. I'll send you a message. Not a problem at all. When it comes to self-love, you could say, like, how much do you love yourself? What's your self-love journey? Or what level of self-love? You have to think of something that's juicy that someone will click on. And ask. You can always ask in your group. I'm going to create a quiz, and I'm really curious. These are the 3 names that I've thought of. Which one would you click on? And ask them, because a lot of times people will tell you, oh, that one sounds weird. That one sounds kitschy. I don't know about that. So ask people, because they will tell you. But consider self-love. If it comes to self-love, I love the compliment one. How do you feel when people give you a compliment? What's your favorite features? But see, what you're talking about now is going to be less of a lead magnet and more of a pre-qualification, the questionnaire. Like, these are the things we ask people before a session, not necessarily before they've even booked. So if you're going to do it that way, you could just set up like one question thing and lead people to a landing page where they answer one question, and that could pre-qualify them. I don't know. I feel like we need to talk more through this, because quizzes are not really meant to be like, you're not going to collect a whole bunch of data from someone for a quiz, because if you get a lot of responses, that would be really overwhelming to read every single one. But you could do, like, I know Jenna Kutcher has her secret sauce quiz, and I think there's 4 different options at the end. So you reach one of 4 different scenarios or results. And then that could be something that you collect, but you wouldn't want to collect like, what are your favorite features about yourself? Because that's a lot of information to collect from someone, especially when this form works really well and there's a lot of people clicking on it. So keep it super simple if that's what you want to collect. Now, one way that you could do this would be with a model call, if you want. And that would be somewhere where they're already kind of interested, a little pre-qualified. And then they can fill out a form based on that information. But that's part of Easton's Facebook ads course, is doing a model call for boudoir in a Facebook ad. So that would definitely be an option. You could also do it through an event. So I've done events where it's a boudoir event with usually I photograph anywhere between 8 to 12 women. And everyone that wants to be a part of this event will fill out a questionnaire. So that's an option as well. It could even be like, it's kind of the same thing as a model call, except everyone's there at once. You could even do it for a specific event. So I have an event coming up that I want to do that I have not done yet, but I could do the same thing where I encourage women to invite their friends and then set up a questionnaire for that, so that I make sure that the people who attend this event are a good fit. So just some ideas, things to consider. And quizzes, man, that's something I have not jumped into yet. But self-love, I think with quizzes, you have to think of it as like, could you print it in a magazine and have it just super simple and super basic? Because if you overload it, you're going to overload people. If you start asking them, what are your favorite features about yourself? Then you're encouraging them to give answers that don't necessarily fit into a quiz format, if that makes sense. So you would have to be very specific in narrowing those things down. I hope that helps, Cindy. Let me know. I know you had to go. But for anyone that needs help on stuff like that, I will be completely blunt and honest with you if it is not my strength, like Facebook ads. But when it comes to lead generation, lead nurturing, the business back end, I am so happy to help you with any of those things. I know that they can be really overwhelming. And running a business a lot of times means doing things that you never thought you'd have to do. You get into business and you're like, I'm going to take pictures, or I'm going to do makeup, or I'm going to bake cakes, and I'm going to do all these creative things. And you can do all of those creative things, but there are so many other things that you have to do in addition to that. So let me know in the comments if there are any other questions or things that you may need help with, because I am happy to help. I was a little late today because I spilled on myself. And so I may or may not be wearing pants right now. I don't know. I'll never share. I'll never tell. But if there are not any more questions, I am going to sign off. I wish you all an amazing week. Hopefully the boob will be less galaxy looking next week when we come on. Let me see what my schedule is next week. As I shared, I am booking out now. So I have to be cognizant of my clients' appointments because I am a working photographer. I know that's shocking for so many people. August 3rd is next Tuesday. Holy moly, it's August. Is anyone else like, what the hell happened to this year? So August 3rd is next Tuesday, and I do not have a session. My session is on Wednesday next week. So we will be meeting here again at 10 a.m. next week, August 3rd, for Just the Tip Tuesday. And if you need help with something, please let me know. I'm so happy to help. It's so frustrating to me to see people in Facebook groups trying to explain their situation. I'm like, I'm literally right here. I'm happy to help you. And I try to help, but sometimes speaking help is a little easier than typing it out, especially on my phone. So I wish you an amazing day, and we will talk soon.